Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, a framework that's designed to completely change how we think about school by answering that one question. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yep, that's the one. You've heard it, I've said it, we've all probably thought it. It's that classic question that pops up in pretty much every class, from algebra to world history. It points to this huge gap between what we learn in a classroom and, well, real life. But what if the answer was actually built right into the way we learn?
Well, it turns out there is. There's an entire approach to education designed specifically to build a bridge over that gap, to give every single subject a purpose and a context that makes total sense in the world right outside the window.
So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll touch on learning's big why problem. Then we'll introduce the 6 lenses that solve it, splitting them into 2 groups, one about us, the human experience, and the other about the systems of our world. And finally, we'll tie it all together.
Okay, first things first. The biggest hurdle in education has always been relevance, right? Without it, learning can feel like you're just collecting a bunch of random facts for a test. The whole idea here is to shift from just learning what to understanding why it matters.
And that's where the solution comes in. It's this incredible set of 6 perspectives called global contexts. Now, don't think of these as more subjects you have to learn. Instead, think of them like 6 different pairs of glasses or lenses that you can use to look at any subject in a totally new and exciting way.
And that's it. Just 6. It's that simple. 6 powerful lenses that have the ability to reframe everything from biology to painting. And this right here is the magic trick. These lenses provide the why. They are specifically designed to help us connect what we're learning to real-world problems and big ideas, so we can finally see why it all matters, way beyond the final exam.
So here they are, all 6 of them. Now, I know just reading them off a list like this doesn't really give you the full picture. So to make it click, we're going to group them into 2 big themes that are a lot easier to wrap your head around.
Let's start with the first theme, which is all about, well, us. These first 3 lenses are all about exploring who we are, how we relate to each other, and the incredible stories that define us as people.
Our very first lens is called Identities and Relationships, and it kicks off with maybe the most basic and most profound question we could ever ask.
This is what makes learning personal. For instance, a biology class isn't just about cells anymore. It's about using genetics to understand what makes you, you. A literature class isn't just about plot. It's about digging into the friendships and conflicts that drive the characters. It's all about figuring out what it really means to be human.
All right, let's slide over to our second lens, orientation in space and time. This one asks us to step back and think about our own place, not just on the map, but in the massive timeline of history.
So through this lens, a history class stops being a list of dates to memorize and becomes this epic investigation into the great migrations that shaped entire continents. A geography lesson is no longer just about memorizing capitals, but about the personal journeys and discoveries that put those places on the map in the first place.
The third and final lens in this group is personal and cultural expression. And this one gets right to the heart of what makes us human, our deep, fundamental need to create, to share, and to make things beautiful.
And what's so cool about this lens is that it shows you that creativity is everywhere. It's not just in art class. You could use it in a math class to explore the sheer beauty and elegance of a perfect proof, or in a language class to see how an entire culture's worldview is baked into its common phrases. It's about seeing the art in everything.
Okay, so we've looked inward at the human experience. Now we're going to zoom out. This next set of lenses is all about looking at the huge, complex, and interconnected systems that we've built, the ones that shape our societies and our entire planet.
This question kicks off our 4th lens, scientific and technical innovation. This is really about our endless curiosity, our quest to figure out how the world works, and then use that knowledge to build amazing things. Through this lens, a physics lesson about electricity suddenly becomes a story about the power grid that lights up our homes. A design class isn't just about software. It's about exploring how the internet has fundamentally changed the way we live and work. It's about seeing science in action all around us.
Our 5th lens, globalization and sustainability, asks a question that is frankly one of the most important ones we can ask right now.
This is where you really start to see the big picture. An economics class, for example, might trace the journey of a single smartphone, from the minerals mined in one country to the factory where it's assembled in another, all the way to the store where you buy it. It makes you realize that what we do here has ripples that are felt all over the world.
And that brings us to our sixth and final lens, fairness and development. This one asks us to think critically about how we can build a better, fairer, and more peaceful world for everyone.
This lens gives us a way to talk about the really big stuff. A civics class can use it to debate what true justice looks like. A history class can explore the long struggles for human rights and equality. It's really about empowering us to be better, more thoughtful citizens of the world.
So you take these 6 lenses, you put them all together, and what happens? Well, you get this amazing shift. Learning stops being about collecting disconnected facts, and it starts being about weaving a rich tapestry of meaningful, connected ideas.
So what's the real payoff here? 3 big things. First, it sparks genuine curiosity. It encourages us to ask big questions. Second, it builds real relevance. It finally gives us a satisfying answer to why does this matter? And third, it develops a true sense of global awareness, which is something we all absolutely need in the world today.
So, I'll leave you with a final thought to play with. Think about anything, your job, your favorite hobby, even just a news story you saw this morning. How would your perspective change if you looked at it through the lens of globalization and sustainability, or personal and cultural expression? Which lens would you pick up to see your world in a completely new light?